Big goals are seductive. You imagine yourself standing at the finish line with everything you ever wanted: the body, the business, the career, the wealth. But here is the brutal truth. Those giant goals are the exact reason most people collapse, lose discipline, and relapse into old patterns. The bigger the goal, the bigger the gap between effort and reward. And your brain is not wired to tolerate that gap. That is why you start strong for a week, then lose momentum and eventually sabotage yourself. The problem is not that you are weak. The problem is that your brain's reward system is built for immediate reinforcement, not for delayed fantasy outcomes months down the road. Today, you are going to learn the code of goal fragmentation. It is a neuroscience protocol that transforms any massive project into a sequence of quick, tangible victories. Once you install it, motivation becomes self-sustaining and discipline becomes automatic. Think of your brain like a high-powered computer running on dopamine as its operating system. Dopamine is not about pleasure, it is about anticipation of reward. It drives you to take action when the reward feels close enough. But when the reward is distant, dopamine levels collapse. That collapse is what makes you procrastinate, binge, or quit. The solution is not to push harder with willpower. The solution is to hack the operating system itself by shrinking the distance between effort and reward. That is what the Goal Fragmentation Code does. Instead of your brain waiting 6 months to feel success, it experiences a win every single day. This is not motivational fluff. This is how the dopaminergic system functions. If you don't respect that wiring, you will keep burning out. If you use it properly, you create a momentum loop that is nearly impossible to stop. Here is how you install the code. Step 1. Define the master target, but do not obsess over it. Write it down clearly once, then lock it in a separate file or board. That is your North Star. Step 2. Immediately break the master target into milestones that can be measured in no more than 1 to 2 weeks. For example, if your goal is to write a book, the milestone is not finishing a chapter. The milestone is writing for 30 minutes a day for 10 consecutive days. That is measurable, time-bound, and short enough for your brain to track progress. Step 3. Subdivide each milestone into daily micro-wins. These micro-wins must be binary. Either you did it or you didn't. There is no gray zone. This daily binary action is the fuel that delivers a dopamine pulse to keep you moving. The brain rewards completion, not intention. You might be thinking, why does this matter? Because the brain does not differentiate between a small victory and a massive one when it comes to dopamine release. Winning a tiny game creates the same neural signal of progress as hitting a huge milestone. The difference is frequency. With big goals, you wait months for that surge. With fragmented goals, you get it every day. That daily surge builds a compounding cycle of motivation. It is like feeding a fire with small sticks constantly instead of trying to throw a giant log once a month. The fire never dies out. And when you reach the larger milestone, it hits even harder because your brain is already trained to expect and pursue rewards. Now, let's make this tactical. If your goal is financial growth, say doubling your income in a year, the fragmented protocol is not setting a vague yearly target. Instead, you create a milestone like generating 1 additional revenue stream within the next 30 days. Then you fragment that into daily micro-wins like sending 3 proposals today or reaching out to 2 new contacts by evening. Each micro-win is a closed loop. When you close loops daily, your brain perceives success as constant. That constant success strengthens your identity as someone who executes, not someone who only dreams. Identity reinforcement is the hidden multiplier here. Every micro-win tells your brain, I am the person who moves forward. Over time, that identity destroys self-doubt and makes action automatic. The protocol works across domains. In fitness, the mistake people make is focusing on losing 20 kilograms or building a six-pack. That is too far away. Your brain gets no reinforcement. Instead, fragment it into milestones like completing 12 workouts in 2 weeks. Then fragment that again into micro-wins like drinking 1 liter of water before lunch or completing today's workout regardless of intensity. Each micro-win is achievable within hours. That immediate closure sends a reward signal and keeps you on track. Within weeks, the compounding effect becomes visible in your body. But more importantly, your brain is locked into the loop of progress. Let's ground this in neuroscience. The ventral striatum and the prefrontal cortex are the key players. The striatum registers reward prediction errors. When you achieve a win sooner than expected, it releases dopamine to reinforce that behavior. The prefrontal cortex then updates your action plan based on that reinforcement. If your milestones are too distant, the system has nothing to reinforce and defaults to distractions that offer faster dopamine, like social media or junk food. By fragmenting goals into daily binary wins, you essentially flood the striatum with frequent reward signals. Over time, this builds a neurochemical pattern where your brain craves execution because it associates it with consistent reward. That is the operating system you want running. But here is the trap you must avoid. Fragmentation does not mean lowering ambition. You are not shrinking the goal. You are restructuring the pathway. The master target remains massive. The protocol simply slices it into consumable chunks that align with how your neurobiology works. This is why elite performers seem unstoppable. They are not more disciplined than you. They are running a different system. They know that discipline is not a trait, it is a structure. You do not fight your brain, you rewire it to work in your favor. To apply this right now, pick one major goal. Identify the 12-month target. Then create a 2-week milestone that moves you directly toward that target. Then define 7 daily binary actions that you can execute in the next week. Write them clearly and treat each as a win condition. The moment you complete each action, you get a win. That win is not symbolic. It is a neurochemical event that reinforces execution. After 7 days, your brain has built a momentum loop. After 2 weeks, it has installed a new identity. After 3 months, the compounding effect is visible to everyone around you. And after a year, the massive target is no longer distant. It is inevitable. There is one more lever that accelerates this code: public accountability. The brain magnifies the dopamine signal when a reward is socially recognized. This is why posting daily progress publicly or reporting to a peer group multiplies the effect. You do not need applause. You just need the act of declaring and closing loops in a social context. The combination of private micro wins and public recognition creates a double reinforcement system. That is the hidden gear that keeps top performers moving when others collapse. Now let's push deeper. The real power of the Goal Fragmentation Code is not just progress, it is resilience. When you fail on a micro win, you reset immediately, because the next win is only hours away, not months. That rapid reset prevents the spiral of self-blame and keeps your brain engaged. Instead of saying I failed my big goal, you say I missed one loop but I can close the next one today. This constant chance of redemption keeps discipline unbroken. You never truly fall off track because the track resets daily. This is the ultimate antidote to self-sabotage. Think of Olympic athletes. They don't think in terms of winning gold every single day. They fragment their path into training blocks, drills, micro skills, and repetitions. Each repetition is a micro win. That is why they can sustain motivation for years. They are not waiting 4 years for reward. They experience it every day through fragmentation. You can run your business, career, or personal goals on the exact same principle. There is also a hidden psychological effect at play that makes the code of goal fragmentation so powerful. It is called the progress principle. Research shows that people feel more motivated not by the size of the ultimate reward, but by visible progress toward it. When you shrink your focus to immediate measurable wins, your brain constantly registers progress. This sense of progress is what keeps you disciplined when others collapse. Without it, the brain interprets effort as wasted energy and pushes you toward distractions that provide faster payoff. By fragmenting goals, you are feeding your mind a constant stream of visible advancement, which creates emotional fuel strong enough to carry you through setbacks and obstacles. Now let's talk about scaling. Suppose your master goal is launching a business that generates $100,000 a year. The average person writes that number down, stares at it, and gets overwhelmed. Their brain sees only a mountain and no clear path. The fragmented code rewrites this into progressive loops. First milestone: create a product prototype in the next 3 weeks. Daily micro win: spend 90 minutes building or testing one feature today. Once that is complete, the next milestone could be acquiring the first 10 paying customers. Micro wins: send 5 outreach emails today, publish 1 piece of content, or set up 1 sales call. Each micro win provides a win condition that your brain can track and reward instantly. Within weeks, you are already stacking small victories. Those victories accumulate into revenue, and before long, the mountain shrinks into a staircase. Another advantage is that fragmentation reduces decision fatigue. One of the biggest killers of discipline is the endless negotiation you have with yourself every day. Should I do this task now? Should I wait until I feel ready? Should I adjust my plan? That constant negotiation drains mental energy. The fragmented protocol eliminates this by creating binary actions. Either you complete today's loop or you don't. There is no negotiation, no complexity, no ambiguity. Your brain loves clarity. Clear conditions reduce stress and increase compliance. This is why elite military and athletic training is structured around binary completions. Did you do the drill or not? Did you complete the rep or not? That binary structure frees mental bandwidth to focus on execution instead of debate. Here's a deeper insight. Fragmentation does not just manipulate dopamine, it actually rewires neural pathways through repetition. Each micro-win fires the same circuitry of motivation, reward, and reinforcement. Repeated daily, those circuits strengthen through synaptic plasticity. The more they strengthen, the less effort is required to sustain them. Over time, execution stops being something you force and becomes something you crave. That shift from effortful discipline to automatic identity is the transformation you are after. Once your brain is wired for execution, you no longer fear big goals because you know you have the system to fragment and conquer them. Let's make this even more actionable. To implement the Goal Fragmentation Code, follow this framework. 1. Write down the master goal, then lock it away so it guides direction but doesn't paralyze you. 2. Define 2-week milestones that move you closer but are small enough to measure. 3. Break those milestones into daily binary actions that can be completed within hours. 4. Track completion visibly. Use a scoreboard, a checklist, or a digital tracker that shows a streak. 5. Create accountability by declaring your loops to another person or group. 6. Reset immediately when you miss a loop and never allow failure to compound. Each of these steps is designed to align your actions with the natural mechanics of your brain's reward system. When you follow this structure, your brain rewards you for consistency, not just for outcomes. There is one last layer. Big goals often collapse because of what psychologists call premature cognitive closure. You visualize the end result so vividly that your brain feels satisfied before you have achieved it. That satisfaction kills drive. Fragmentation prevents this by constantly shifting your focus back to the next micro-win, instead of fantasizing about the finish line. You don't starve your brain of vision, but you starve it of premature reward. That makes your motivation more durable, more practical, and far harder to kill. You are not chasing illusions, you are stacking victories. Now picture yourself running this system for 3 months. You wake up and your brain doesn't resist the work. It expects the win. Every day you stack binary completions, every week you hit milestones. Every month your identity as an executor gets stronger. Then look at the person who started with the same ambition but never fragmented it. They are still staring at the mountain. They are still telling themselves stories about why discipline is hard. They are still cycling through bursts of energy and crashes of guilt. The difference between you and them is not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It is simply that you installed the code of goal fragmentation and they didn't. The time to apply this is now. Stop trying to climb mountains in one leap. Stop starving your brain of reinforcement. Write your master goal, fragment it into milestones, then fragment those milestones into daily binary actions. Track them, execute them, and watch your brain rewire itself to crave execution. This is how you transform massive ambitions into inevitable outcomes. You no longer fear big goals because you know the structure that turns them into fuel. And if you want to keep building your arsenal of mental codes and protocols for an unstoppable edge in performance, career, and life, subscribe to Success Code right now. This is not just content. This is the playbook for outcompeting average in every domain. Install this code, subscribe, and keep expanding your arsenal.